Yo! Welcome, JBA fans! It's not your boy Jade Hex, it's your boy Moody, your coach of the Westchester Weavils, JBA Season 1 champ, and JBA Season 3 runner-up. You may be wondering, where's the guy Jade Hex? This season, I'm doing a little bit of videos, for Jade, helping him out a little bit. Me and L5, we're gonna be doing a little commentary on some of the matches, and they're gonna be uploaded on this channel, Jade channel, all the matches that we commentate. Just to help Jade out, and then spread the love a little bit. But yeah, so Jade will definitely be in videos, but he's just not in this one. But yeah, this is JBA Season 4. We're here, baby. Fourth season. Yeah, it's great. And we got a matchup of two very fine coaches in Leo and Tom Core. Leo, the coach of the New Zealand Zoroarks, and Tom Core, the coach of the Vancouver Kyogres. Both coaches have been in JBA and been in 2 seasons of the JBA. Leo being in the first 2, and then taking Season 3 off, and then Tom Core being in Season 2 and Season 3. This is the first game for both coaches, obviously, Week 1. First game in JBA Season 4, so, that's to be expected. So, both coaches are going to have to get adjusted to their new teams a little bit. It's definitely a really interesting matchup we got here. On Tom's side, he's got the Lurantis, the Megalopony, the Mudsdale, Zapdos, Victini, and the Suicune. On Leo's side, he's got the Slowbro, the Thunderous Incarnate, the Garchomp, the Mega Gallade, Desudai, and Porygon 2. So, just judging based just on team composition alone, gotta give the matchup to Leo. Tom doesn't have any knockoff users, so Porygon 2 and Slowbro are gonna have a real nice time. Especially the Porygon 2. If depending on what Leo wants to wall with the Porygon 2, most likely is Tom Core special threats. Because the only thing really stopping Porygon 2 really is the Megalopony, like a Megalopony high jump kick. But even depending on how much investment you run in Porygon 2, actually he gets blown back. What am I thinking about? Thought he might be able to live 1 or 2, but most likely Porygon 2 is a special, very heavily special defensive variant to take on the Suicune, the Zapdos, Lurantis, and a special Victini. Slowbro is probably there to handle the physical threats like Lopunny and Mudsdale and a couple other Tom's threats. Thunderous Incarnate is obviously a problem for Thunderous Incarnate could really do a lot of damage right here, especially if it was because it gets access to Prankster, so you could always Prankster T-Wave like Lopunny and or Victini, and if that happens, Lopunny is not the most bulkiest mon in the world, and it really needs the speed. And Victini doesn't want to take a paralysis either. And on Leo's side, he also has the Gallade, which is kind of tough switching for Tom, but definitely workable. Tom really, because of the lack of knockoff, kind of has to go for Toxic Stalling to try to wear down these Slowbro and the Porygon 2. Might be a little tough though, both have reliable recovery, and Slowbro does have Regenerator, so he could always reset the Toxic Timer and get health back by switching out. But yeah, just gotta give the team composition matchup to Leo right here. But let's get into the match right off. Let's go. And then Leo leads with Zeus, the Thunderous Incarnate, while Tom leads with Suicune. And then obviously right off the rip, this is really tough for Tom. He just got to predict the turn 1. Shit happens, but what's it called? But Tom has to switch here because he can't risk Suicune dying this early. And then he goes into Mudsdale, but Leo predicting him to switch Volt Switch, but gets blocked by the Mudsdale. But then he just goes right into Slowbro and gets Rock Slide. Judging by the damage, Slowbro ate that shit up. So it's gonna be tough for this Slowbro. Was most likely physically defensive, very physically defensive oriented. Tom's gonna have to switch right here too because he definitely does not want to take a Scald. So he opts to switch into the Lurantis. Leo, knowing that he has to pretty much switch, he just decides to drop a Toxic and put this thing on a timer. Lurantis does get Aromatherapy, so it's not the worst thing in the world that this thing is toxic, but it's definitely not ideal because then he has to waste a turn Aromatherapy or something around those lines. So Leo decides to switch into this Desudai. Tom, knowing that Leo probably is going to switch here, decides to go for Toxic his own and Toxic Desudai. So a little bit of a toxic battle going on here. So Tom decides to switch again into the Zapdos, but Leo goes for the U-turn, and Leo's really has a lot of momentum going here. He's forcing a lot of switches on Tom's part, and he goes right into the Porygon 2. Porygon 2, especially if it's very defensive or very specially defensive, it kind of bodies the Zapdos a little bit. Zapdos is really there's not a lot the Zapdos can do to it. I think Tom knows that, so he decides to switch, and then he goes into the Suicune. I think Leo goes for the Magic Coat, which is really cool. I think right there Leo was predicting Tom to drop a Toxic on him, because that's really one of the only ways that Zapdos could have beaten Porygon 2. So he goes for Magic Coat, kind of cool touch. But he decides to switch into this, and then Tom goes for the Scald. Does about 30-ish%, but trying to scout the Ice Beam right here. He goes in and he's got the Ice Beam. Doesn't do that much to Desudai. So he's definitely got some special defense investment. Yeah, so Tom has to switch again into Victini, and Leo just opts to go and get this thing up to full. Leo decides to switch right here into the Porygon 2. So tries to Victory Star. But Tom goes for the momentum and U-turn and try to get the matchup that he wants, and then he gets the Lopunny in on Porygon 2, so this allows him to get the Mega off right here. Tom decides to go for the... what is he going here? Oh, Toxic. So he gets the Slowbro on the Toxic, he puts it on a timer, which he really needed. But then now he decides to switch. Leo goes for the Scald. Lurantis eats that up, but the Toxic plus the Scald, it's racking up. Tom decides right here to go to get his team healthy with the Aromatherapy. So this Lurantis has shown Aromatherapy and Toxic. Kind of interesting. Probably an offensive move too, like Leaf Storm. Boost with that Contrary is really nice. So he decides to go for the Synthesis to get back up to full. And then Leo goes for Rocks right here. Tom just goes for the Leaf Storm. That does about 30%, 35%, and now at +2. This should kill, barring any sort of rolls or anything like that. So Leo decides to switch right here, and he goes right into his Desudai. He decides to Toxic. I think Tom right there was predicting the Porygon 2 to come in, but Leo makes a nice play and goes into Desudai. It's already Toxic, so it's what it is. He must have known that he could take a +2 Leaf Storm. So Tom's forced to switch again. Leo really putting the pressure up with this momentum he's got going, and he goes and U-turns right back into the Mega Gallade. It makes its debut, and it's already Mega, and so Leo just remembered a pre-Mega before, but yeah. So I think he goes for the Swords Dance right here, scaring out the Zapdos for a potential Ice Punch. So he goes for the Swords Dance right here. Leo decides to go for another Swords Dance, risking Scald Burn. Tom has to go for Scald and try to get a burn right here. He doesn't get it, and then he decides to Drain Punch, and since Suicune's fat as fuck, that shit lives, even a +4. And then he tries to go to Scald again and get a burn, and Water's cold. What are you gonna do? I think even the showdown, they're fighting on water, which is kind of cool. That being said, it's kind of unfortunate for Tom, but there are ways that he could potentially take down this Gallade. So he just goes for the Drain Punch, goes for the KO right there. So that's, the Suicune's basically dead. He can't, come on rocks unless he defogs it. He goes into the Mudsdale, and I'm thinking he thought he could take that, but at +4, that Mudsdale was blown all the way to back. Not sure what he was trying to do there, but he goes into the Victini, and then Leo, if he had Shadow Sneak, he probably would have used it there, but it looks like he doesn't have Shadow Sneak. He goes for the Earthquake instead, and then bops the Victini, But now what he could do is fake out and then maybe sack something and then fake out again, or just return. I guess that puts him in return range. So he goes for the return. Does a lot of damage, but he does take some damage off Rocky Helmet. He could definitely take another. So he Leo decides to stay in. Does he stay in? Oh, no. He decides to go into his Thundurus. And then we got Thundurus Zapdos, two flying electric types. Then Leo goes for the taunt, while Tom decides to go for the roost right there. Kind of unfortunate, but nice play on Leo's part, protecting the roost. He's got to switch because I don't think he has anything touches Landorus Incarnate, so he just decides Thunderbolt. He gets a crit, kind of unfortunate. He reveals that he's Life Orb with Taunt and Thunderbolt, and he shows the HP Ice. So it's not really looking good for Tom right here. Tom decides to go into the Megalopony, especially seeing the HP Ice that can't go really into Zapdos. So he decides to go for the fake out right here, just get some damage off and maybe potentially kill the Thundurus. It's not really looking good for Tom, so he's just trying to, maybe get a kill and try to lower this differential a little bit. Leo's pretty much got this, but Leo's trying to go for the 6-0 because differential does matter in this league. And then he just goes for the Side Shock right here, and then pops the Megalopony, and then he's forced to go into the Zapdos, and it takes 25% on the rocks. Leo goes into, what does he do? Oh, he tries Toxic, try to put this thing on a timer. Now he's at 7. Leo wanted to go for the nice 6-0. This being the first game of the season, you want to pad your differential because you never know what could happen in future games. And differential definitely matters. Speaking from experience, I've missed the playoffs off differential alone. So he goes for Thunderbolt. That doesn't really do anything. And this Porygon 2 just sits right in front of Zapdos. And he tries to scout for the Toxic right here. Probably that's what he was probably trying to do. But this game's over. So yeah. So we're gonna get a little bit of probably around like 10 turns of this with Thunderbolt. Oh, and he gets paralyzed. But he still can't take it out even with a bunch of hits. And he breaks through paralysis and gets a recover up. And we're just gonna get a bunch of turns of this. Definitely good game to Leo. This matchup was a pretty good matchup for him. But he definitely made some really good plays, and pretty cool to see the match code on Porygon 2. I mean, he didn't really get to actually use it, but still cool nonetheless. But yeah, so definitely good for him. We're just gonna get a bunch of this, but spoilers, Leo does win. If you couldn't tell, and yeah, so he's just going for Tri Attacks, Thunderbolts. I'm gonna speed this up just a little bit. And then more hidden powers, more Thunderbolts. He might have run out of Thunderbolts. I'm not sure really what was going on there. And then he just dies to burn damage. So Leo picks up the nice 6-0 against Tom Core. Definitely tough loss for Tom. But, it's week 1. I think we're playing like 10 games. So, you could always bounce back. But definitely good win with Leo. He's in my division, so 1-0 with 6+6 differential. It's a nice start for Leo. Not sure what Tom could have done differently. His matchup definitely was not in Tom's favor. Maybe he could have brought something else, but just judging by the team he had, he Slowbro and Porygon 2 was just too tough for him to break through. But until next time, guys, I'm Moody. You can check out my YouTube channel in the description below, but you might catch me later in the season. You might get to hear this grimy ass New York accent, maybe even later in a couple other games for week 1. But until next time, Moody Claws out. Peace.